Red Dead Redemption 2, developed by Rockstar Games, stands as a monumental achievement in the world of interactive entertainment. Even half a decade after its release, Red Dead Redemption 2 has more players than it ever has before. It is not just a testament to its engaging gameplay, but also to its profound resonance with the human psyche. Today's video will dive into how RDR2 taps into our primal instincts, creates emotional connections, and what makes the game truly addicting to its cult-like fans who have stuck around even when Rockstar has abandoned the game completely. We will also dive into the transformative impact on players' lives. If you're a Red Dead fan and enjoy content like this, please be sure to subscribe, as 99% of viewers have not done so. I appreciate all of your support. Now let's get into the video. Red Dead Redemption 2's meticulously crafted open world was designed in a way to call the player into the wild. The game's diverse ecosystems, ranging from the Grizzlies' snow-capped mountains to alligator-infested Lemoyne, offer a virtual experience of living in harmony with nature. This world is not just a backdrop, but a central character in its own right. The game's depiction of the American wilderness in the 1800s is a masterclass in environmental storytelling, offering players a window into a world where nature was an integral part of daily life. This connection to the wild goes beyond mere survival. It taps into a deep-seated nostalgia for a time when humans were more in tune with the natural world. The game's meticulous attention to detail, from the changing weather patterns to the realistic behavior of wildlife, creates an immersive experience that resonates with our ancestral memory. For instance, the game's hunting mechanics are not just about the act of killing an animal. They involve tracking, understanding the ecosystem, and respecting the natural order, much like our forebears who lived in harmony with nature. The romanticizing of nature and the primal call to return to the wild, as seen in RDR2, finds a parallel in modern cinema, particularly in films like Into the Wild, Leave No Trace, and Everest. The movie Into the Wild, based on a true story, portrays the journey of a young man, Christopher McCandless, who chooses to abandon his conventional life to live in the Alaskan wilderness. Similar to RDR2, Into the Wild taps into the human fascination with nature and the idea of escaping civilization and living off the land. However, there's a crucial distinction in the context and choice. In Into the Wild, McCandless's journey into nature is a deliberate escape from modern society, a personal quest for meaning and authenticity in a world perceived as superficial. It represents a romantic idealization of the wild, a voluntary return to a simpler way of life that modern humans have lost touch with. This contrasts sharply with the world of RDR2, where living in harmony with nature is not a choice but a fundamental aspect of existence. The characters in the game do not romanticize the wilderness. They inhabit it as a reality of their time. Their interactions with nature are born out of necessity rather than a philosophical or spiritual pursuit. This difference highlights a significant shift in human interaction with nature over time, however presents a deep interest in exploring those historical times. Along with this call to the wild the game offers comes the thrill of both adventure and risk. The game's narrative and side missions offer a plethora of activities that echo the natural and primal human craving for adventure and risk. A particularly compelling example is the mission, A Short Walk in a Pretty Town. This mission encapsulates the essence of unexpected danger and the need for quick, decisive action, hallmarks of the kind of risks our ancestors faced for survival. In this mission, Arthur Morgan and several members of the Van der Linde gang arrive in the town of Rhodes for what they believe to be a peaceful meeting. However, it quickly turns into a deadly ambush. The player is thrust into a chaotic gunfight, requiring not only quick shooting skills, but also strategic use of cover and an acute awareness of the surroundings. Missions like this one satisfy a deep-rooted psychological need for excitement and challenge, offering a safe outlet for our inherent risk-taking tendencies. The game's social bonds and group dynamics are also important. The Van der Linde gang, central to RDR2's story, is a representation of the primal human need for belonging and cooperation. The game explores themes of loyalty and betrayal within this group, reflecting the complex social dynamics of early human tribes, while also exploring the basic human need to operate and complete tasks in groups, more specifically with a group with close chemistry. The online mode's posse system further emphasizes this, where players form groups to complete missions, echoing the cooperative nature of our ancestors. This is evident in missions like Blood Feuds, Ancient and Modern, where the gang unites to fight a common enemy, showcasing the strength and necessity of social bonds. The game also demonstrates narrative depth and deep character development. The game's protagonist, Arthur Morgan, is a character of profound depth and complexity. His journey from a ruthless outlaw to a man with a conscience is a powerful narrative arc that resonates with players. The player's choices in missions, such as deciding the fate of the debtors, directly impact Arthur's moral standing, making the game a deeply personal experience. This level of character development fosters a strong emotional connection as players see reflections of their struggles and moral choices in Arthur. RDR2 challenges players to empathize with characters who exist in moral gray areas. The game's narrative forces players to confront the consequences of their actions in a way that blurs the lines between right and wrong. This is exemplified in the mission, The Smell of the Grease Paint, where the player helps a group of misfit performers. This mission, while seemingly trivial, highlights the game's ability to evoke empathy for diverse characters, encouraging players to consider perspectives beyond their own. The emotional depth of the game is perhaps best exemplified in Arthur's final moments, depending on the player's choices. This poignant conclusion has moved many players, leading them to reflect on themes of mortality, redemption, and the consequences of one's actions. The game has fostered a vibrant cult-like community of players who share experiences, stories, and gameplay strategies. This community extends beyond the game, with fan-created art, music, and literature, demonstrating the game's impact on creative expression. Online forums and social media groups dedicated to RDR2 are testimonies to the game's ability to bring people together, creating a sense of belonging and shared passion. Beyond its entertainment value, RDR2 has inspired real change in players' lives. For instance, players have reported being motivated by the game to explore the outdoors, take up historical research, or even reconsider their moral choices and life priorities. In-game activities like hunting, fishing, and horseback riding are not just pastimes. They are immersive experiences that have led players to seek similar activities in the real world. The game's detailed representation of wildlife and landscapes has heightened players' appreciation for environmental conservation and the beauty of the natural world. The game's historical accuracy, from the depiction of the Pinkertons to the representation of Native American struggles, has sparked a renewed interest in these topics among players. For example, the mission American Fathers, where Arthur helps Eagle Flies, a young Native American, has led players to explore the history of indigenous peoples in America, while the whole narrative has sparked interest in the cowboy era overall. The game's portrayal of redemption and resilience has been a source of inspiration for many, encouraging them to persevere through personal challenges. In conclusion, Red Dead Redemption 2 is not just a game. It's a cultural artifact that resonates with our deepest natural instincts and human emotions. Its ability to connect with players on a primal level, create profound emotional experiences, and inspire real-world change is unparalleled in the gaming world. By offering a blend of historical authenticity, narrative depth, and a reflection of our innate desires and complexities, RDR2 has transcended the boundaries of digital entertainment, impacting the lives of its players in meaningful and lasting ways.